One of the websites we love at the Solari Report is the debt clock, but you've done one better. And why
Yes.
don't you tell everybody what you are wearing, what the pin you're wearing on your suit, and how we can get all of our congressmen wearing it too.
Well, I've invented this. I don't know if it's in focus well enough to see it, but you can see the last 5 digits are changing too fast to read, really, I think.
Yep.
And I call it my anxiety generator. It's it's meant to generate anxiety among my colleagues because that's the one thing they lack. They're all concerned about the debt. They're just not very concerned about the debt. So I'm trying to elevate their concern. So I built this debt clock to wear because they can't stop me from wearing it. They can stop me from nailing one to the wall in the House of Representatives or in the Budget Committee or in the Ways and Means Committee or in the Appropriations Committee, but they can't stop me from wearing it. So I built a wearable debt clock. It's got Wi-Fi. It goes to Treasury, gets the debt to the penny once a day, looks at the debt 1 year ago, comes up with a 1-year rolling average of debt per second, and displays instantaneously the best, most accurate debt you could have. I have been slowly giving these out to other members of Congress. Now, I call them badges of shame. They're not debt badges, but they're badges of shame. And just trying to increase awareness for the debt. And it's working a little bit. I mean, I have people in the elevators who can't look away from my debt. So I told a female congressman that my eyes were up here. She seemed to be staring down here at me all the time. And she said I should make belt buckles out of them.
We think a debt-based currency is a terrible idea, and we love your debt clock because it's one of the things it shows. In theory, Treasury could have just issued $35 trillion of currency. We didn't need to do it with debt. And so now we're in a debt trap, and we didn't need to get there.
Correct. And in all honesty, 5 trillion of this, at least 5 trillion of it in the last few years is actually printed. We borrowed it from ourselves. Now, they were very polite and reported it as debt, as if they're going to pay that back to ourselves at some point in the future. I don't think we're going to pay ourselves back. You'd literally have to bring the dollars back in, and it's almost the equivalent of burning them in a pile. If the government ever collects any extra dollars, I guarantee they're going to spend them. They're not going to reduce the money supply. Occasionally, they reduce the balance sheet a little bit at the Fed, but then it goes back up more than they reduced it. We need sound money is what we need. They can only get away with a lot of this stuff they're doing at these 3-letter agencies if they have infinite money to implement this stuff.
The New York Fed is a private bank owned by its members that is the depository for the U.S. government. So I've always been a big proponent of, and it's really been your Kentucky colleagues who've promoted this, of auditing the Fed.
Yeah, I mean, it needs to undergo an audit. They try to make 2 arguments against my bill to audit the Fed. The first one they say is we're already audited. And so, we report enough information already. Well, the reality is, well, then why do you oppose my bill if it's redundant? The reality is there are many things they do that aren't already audited, that are beyond the view of the American people and also just beyond the view of Congress. How do they make these decisions? And then when they do transactions with foreign banks to try to prop up other countries, those transactions happen in the blink of the eye with no explanation to us. So,
well, if you look at the Fed's audited statements, there's huge amounts of operations, including the depository operation, that is not included in that. So, and that's clearly part of what needs to get audited. So
that's so their first argument is we're already audited. And my rebuttal to that is, well, then you'll love my bill because it's completely redundant and you'll have no extra work. The second argument they make is if you audit us, it will change the way we do things. Well, you just made my argument for auditing you.